Hi everyone, I'm Dawn from Creative Cane Cabin, and today I'm going to show you how to make these clay essential oil diffuser necklaces. What you will need is either oven bake or air dry Sculpey clay. I'm using the oven bake in the gray. I have found that one of these sections will make about 8 charms, necklace charms. You'll also need something to cut the shape out with. This is just a lid from Hair Products. Whatever you have, use. Don't buy anything special. You'll also need something to make a pattern on the charm itself. I no longer have stamps. I gave those all away years ago. So I use the back side of these hair bands to make the pattern. You'll need a straw to add the hole to the necklace, some kind of string or twine as your chain, and you'll also need a nail file to file down any rough edges. And I use wax paper so I don't destroy any of the surface underneath, and some tin foil for baking. So the first thing you're going to want to do is break off a square of the clay, and you need to prep it, and to prep it you need it. This part's actually pretty fun. I could just do this all day. It's sort of like silly putty. Maybe it's a stress reliever, but you want to work it until it's pretty pliable. I found this is a really inexpensive project. I can make, if you don't have to buy anything other than the clay, about 8 or 9 of these charms out of one square. And there's 4 squares per pack for about 25 cents. So, inexpensive project, and if you're one of those people who don't like the overwhelming, powerful smell of perfume and prefer to use essential oils for a natural smell, this is a great way to do that. I know I've walked into places before and the smell of perfume or cologne about knocked me over. I'm very sensitive to smell. It actually, like fabric softener, I feel like I can't breathe. It's so strong. If I go into a grocery store, department store, I have to hold my breath going down the laundry aisle. It's so overpowering. So this is a very good way to give yourself a signature scent without it being overpowering or overwhelming to the people around you. So I roll that out to maybe 1/4 of an inch thick, and you try to get as even as you can. I know sometimes the edges get a little thinner. If that's the case, just cut from the middle. So then I take this off, and this is how I'm going to get my patterns. You can use a stamp. I don't have stamps. Just look around your house or in your jewelry box. Find something that has a pattern that appeals to you. And I find if you add the pattern before you cut the shape, it's a lot easier. You don't stretch the clay so much and get it out of shape. So I'm just going to roll this in here. And I'm going to use the heart shape and the circle here. And the fun thing about these is you could actually, when you string these, you could stack them so they have a dual charm. Now, when you use a complete solid, you can't look through to see exactly where you're placing the pattern. It's just going to be a guessing game. So It's just going to be fun however it turns out. Doesn't feel like that cut all the way through. Okay. May have to give this a little squish to... Never had it stick this bad before. Okay. And I use a straw to make my hole. If your straw already has clay in it, just give it a little snip and get rid of it so that you can get a fresh hole. Now with this having the hole on the back side, I can press my finger through to get it out of there. Okay. There's no right or wrong way for placing the hole. Put it wherever you like. It doesn't have to be center. It can be off to the side. That's totally up to you. And then what I do is, I've already got some started here. I place them. This is actually one of my cast iron pans. I put a layer of tin foil on it and add my shapes. My oven has been preheating to 275, and I find that they take about 2 hours to bake. You may find it's different for you. I do know the Sculpey will turn brown around the edges if it's being baked for too long, so just use your judgment. When they feel nice and hard, take them out of the oven. And I also found by tenting it, and sealing off the edges here, it tends to bake better if it's enclosed. So into the oven they go. And once they come out, this is a batch I've already baked, I go ahead and feel all the way around the edge to see if there's any sharp spots. That one doesn't have any, this one does. So I'm just going to file it with my nail file to make sure it's nice and smooth. You don't want this catching on your clothing. And I actually sleep in mine. I know a lot of people can't sleep in jewelry, but if you're having trouble sleeping, add a drop of lavender to your necklace. Okay, so once those are good, then you will cut whatever you want. This is just some gray cording. This is string. I have used both. I really like the natural look. I've also tried leather. Now for me, I couldn't get the leather to lay nice and flat, and when I tied it off on the back side of my neck, I could always feel a lump there. So that wasn't for me, but if it's for you, go ahead and use it. I've found the easiest way to string these is get both ends together. When you have your loop, you're going to put the loop through the back side. And if you're going to stagger two of these, then you're obviously going to do a second one. And you're going to bring both ends through the front of the loop and tighten them down. This will make them lay flat against your body. These will hold 1 drop of essential oil. If you would like to use a combination oil mix, I recommend making the combination in its own separate bottle and then using a dropper to put 1 drop of that signature scent on your clay. The method that I use is when I get up in the morning, I put my drop of essential oil on the diffuser necklace and hop in the shower and do my whole routine. And by the time my hair, my makeup, I'm dressed, all of that's done, the oil has soaked into the clay. Now, the more you use it, the faster it will soak in. And then I recommend making several so that you can use different scents on different pieces. And what I do is if the oil, it's maybe a new necklace and the oil hasn't completely soaked in, what I do is rub it on my wrist to absorb the extra oil, and rub my wrists together since I'm using this like a perfume, and that'll take any of the excess off. And then you want to wear these on the inside of your clothing because the heat from your body is what is going to make it release the scent. I don't wear silk blouses or anything fancy, so if you wear something fancy, make sure you test this with the oil. I've never had a problem with the oil coming off on any clothing, but make sure you test it out for yourself. So that is all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you go to my website, you can print off a list of my favorite combinations to use on these diffusers. And you can also, there's tags to print, and what you do is once you create your signature scent, you'll list the essential oils that you've used, and the tag fits right over your necklace. So when you hang it up for the night and you don't remember which one has what scent on it the next day, the tag will tell you what it is. All right, thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.